Hi second graders, it's Mrs. Shook again. Today we're working on Grade 2 Skills, Unit 3, Lesson 22. Our learning goals for today: I can identify action verbs in oral and written sentences. I can use a planning template and the 5 W's graphic, which we have used previously, to plan a personal narrative as a class. Okay, so first up we have the sentence, clap your hands. Go ahead and do that. Clap your hands. Okay, in the phrase clap your hands, we have an action, which is a verb, and we have a noun, which is a thing, a person, place, or thing, in this case, a thing. So take a second and think, which word is the noun? Yes, hands, and hands is actually a plural noun because it has an S at the end, meaning more than one hand. Okay, and which is the verb? Yes, clap is the verb, and we're going to show that by using a squiggly line underneath the word, because a verb is an action word, and the squiggly line kind of shows us motion. Okay, now we have the sentence, kids run. Okay, so first let's think, who is the sentence about? Good, it is about the kids. What part of speech is that? Kids. Kids are people. People would be a noun. Very good. So we're going to circle the word kids because it's a noun. Is the word kids singular or plural? So looking at the word, we see an S, which shows that it's more than one, meaning plural. Okay, and what do the kids do? The kids run. Good, which is our verb. So we're going to underline that again with a squiggle line. Okay, on this page we have two sentences with some nouns and verbs. This time we're looking for just the proper nouns. And as a review, proper nouns refer to a specific person, place, or thing, and they always have a capital letter at the beginning of the word. So Martez runs home. Which word would be the proper noun, and which word would be the action verb? Okay, so Martez is the proper noun, that's the name, and runs is the action. Good job. Okay, sentence number 2, Piper rides her bike. Okay, so which one is the proper noun? Good, Piper. And I'm specifying proper noun because home and bike are also nouns, but we're just looking at the proper noun. And what does Piper do? What is her action? She rides, right? She's riding on her bike. So again, rides and run are the two verbs, and we're underlining them with a squiggle line. Good. Okay, now 22.1. On this page, nouns and verbs, each sentence will have a number next to it, and that's going to signify how many nouns are in the sentence. Okay, and then you're also going to be looking for the verb. So like in number 1, the cars will crash. There's one noun, which is cars, and crash is the verb, the action. Okay, so let's do a few together. Number 2, the desk broke. We know we have one noun. The desk broke. Desk is the noun, and the action that happened, the verb, is broke. Okay, number 3, the firemen wear coats like raincoats, with 3 nouns, people, places, and things. So let's see. Fireman is a person or people. Coats are things, and raincoats are also things. And the verb is wear. Something that they do. They wear their coat. Number 4, Dad drives us to the playground. 3 nouns. Again, people, places, and things. First we have Dad, that's a person. Us, another group of people. And a place is a playground. Good. And the action, Dad is driving. Dad drives. So squiggle line under drives. Okay, and number 5. 5 foxes ran by the road. Okay, 2 nouns this time. Foxes are things, and the road is a place. And then the action verb is ran. I just forgot to circle road. Apologize for that. So make sure you circle road as well. And then ran is our action verb. It's what they did. The foxes ran. Okay, so you will finish the rest of the sheet on your own. Oh, there it is. There's road. Sorry about that. Okay, now to move on to our writing portion. So we've been working on personal narratives, talking about them. So how is a personal narrative like a fiction story, right? So it has a title, a setting, characters, and a plot. So even though a personal narrative is fact-based, it is similar to a fictional story in the fact that it has a title, title it, setting of where it takes place, characters, and there's a plot with a beginning, middle, and end. And how is a personal narrative different from a fictional story? Okay, the personal narrative describes something that really happened, whereas a fictional story is made up. And the author or narrator is one of the characters. So if I was telling you a personal narrative, I'd be saying I, and I would be one of the characters. I would be the narrator / author and also one of the characters. Okay. So today we're going to, again, work on personal narratives. Our first step is to plan. So we're going to use 22.2. Okay. A personal narrative. So you're going to want to write about an event that happened to you. So such as like a special holiday or birthday, a special present you may have received, something a friend or a sibling did for you, a special visit or a trip to an interesting place, a first or significant personal achievement, or a weather-related event, right? So you might be thinking about, oh, maybe I had a really special birthday and we did this. A special present you got that you really loved, something someone did for you, maybe you went somewhere really cool. Okay, those are all ideas that you would share in a personal narrative. And again, we're going to use 22.2. Okay, and as you're filling out your chart, you're going to want to refer to this 5W. So who? Again, the characters. Who was involved, including the narrator. Who else was involved? What happened? Okay, so what happened in the beginning? What happened in the middle? What happened in the end? You might refer to the story you read about the kid and his parents that were stuck in the bad weather, the sleet, right? So what happened in the beginning? It started sleeting, and then they got stuck in traffic, and they stayed at granddad's house. When did this take place? Was it last year? Was it last week? Was it, a long time ago? And going along with the when is the where. Where were you? Where did it happen? And then why did the characters act the way they did? So in the story that I was just referring to, why did they decide to go to granddad's house? Because it was bad out. They were near his house. They needed a safe place to go for the night. Okay. So today we're going to use Mr. Mouse's story, right? So he went and did a graphic organizer. The title is Good Food at Carol's. Okay? Good Food at Carol's. So based on the title, we know this story, or should expect this story, is going to be based on Good Food at Carol's. Okay, so then the characters he says me, so that means Mr. Mouse is the character. The setting is Carol's house, which makes sense, going Good Food at Carol's house. In the beginning, kids read, kids excel. Okay. In the middle, went to Carol's house, ate cakes. Now we know Mr. Mouse is not the best speller, so excuse that. And at the end, Tom hurts. Okay. All right, so once you do the planning phase, you're going to work on a draft. That's when you're taking your work from the planning from here, and you're going to turn it into sentences in a full draft. And you're going to write everything out, full sentences, get your paragraphs, have your introduction and conclusion. Okay, so in the draft, we need to have an introduction sentence, which opens up the story, right? You're going to want to, of course, a capital letter at the beginning, a punctuation at the end, and you're going to want to try to draw people into your story. The body is where you're going to write about what happened, the beginning, the middle, the end. You're probably going to be using sentences that turn into paragraphs. Right, so you're going to organize your ideas as you go through. And then just continue to make sure that you're using punctuation and capital letters throughout the body. Okay, and then you're going to end it with a conclusion sentence. And this is where you're going to wrap up the story and end it, right? Make sure as you're doing this, you are using your graphic organizer, your planning step. You're turning all that into complete sentences. You're putting everything in order of how it happened. Okay? All right, so here's Mr. Mouse's draft of his story. Okay, so he's missing his title, but I have been listening to the class reading Kids Excel. I wish they would let me read that book. If I were going to write a tale about what I excel at, I would write about how I excel at chewing hose. Just last evening, I went to Carol's house and I had a good time. She has the best food of anyone who has ever lived in that house. I like her dog. Her dog is too scared to get me, but her dog barks when it hears me chewing. I like to chomp on the corn chips. While Carol was at work today, I ate all of her cakes. My tummy hurts after that, but I hope she will make more cakes soon. I think I will invite my buds to live at Carol's house. Her house is nice and warm when it's cool outside. Okay, so there Mr. Mouse took his planning paper and turned it into his personal narrative. The next step is, of course, to edit, so there will be some more work involved with this. However, he took everything from his planning page way back here, and he turned it, the characters, where they were, in the beginning, the middle, and the end, okay, and turned it into his narrative. Okay, so once you're done writing your own narrative, you're going to want to refer back to this to make sure, do you have who? Do you have everyone that was involved? Do you have what happened? The when and the where? And why did people act the way that they did? Now, you're probably thinking, Mr. Mouse needs some help with his story kind of jumped all over the place, but he's got a start. Okay, so that's it for today. If you do not have your activity page to do Lesson 22, you're going to use Unit 3 in Google Forms. Great job today, guys, and see you tomorrow.